Leichenbach, Lee Sing, the farmer out in Miles Crossing. He was married, had a family, and my dad would do the paperwork at the bank to wire his family money.
He was pretty well known.
Yes.
I understand that in the early 20s, he gardened up here at what we know today as Harrison Drive.
A lot of people went to see Lee Sing because they get free veggie, you know.
It was not a very big store, but he nevertheless was happy selling his canned goods along with his vegetables.
But his store was really a eye catcher.
People would come out and buy from him, and we'd even go over and buy things from him, his little store and whatnot.
When we moved out to the country in 1934, my mother would go down and visit with this Lee Sing. And they were, you know, very friendly, and he was nice, and before we knew it, there were 4 of us that would go down to his garden, where he gardened, and we'd weed in his garden for 10 cents an hour.
I remember working for him. I worked for him weeding his vegetable garden patches.
That's what I want to talk
for
I want to get you on film on that.
15 cents an hour.
That's more than I got paid. I think 2 cents a pound for picking peas or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Weeding the garden.
I weeded and hoed. I worked in it. That's how I made my spend money.
He raised peas and beans.
He raised anything that he could.
Some corn.
Yeah.
He also raised
carrots,
onions and radishes and things like that. Marg would help bundle them up, and he would take them downtown to sell them.
And when the peas and beans were ready for harvest, he paid us a penny a pound. And so we did that several summers at his vegetable garden.
Had a couple of dogs pulling his plow, some Labrador dogs that would pull the plow and plow the field until he got a motorized rototiller after the late 50s.
And that Lee Sing was so frugal that he used to go out and water the plants by hand, you know. And then people told me that when they went to his place, why the chickens were running around and everything, well, it was just homey.
These chickens and ducks, they were tame. And then when he'd go into the add up the deal by his abacus, he'd sweep them like this off the table. And start whipping away with that thing. He's faster than us with a slide rule. He was really whipping the things out.
Oh man, he was quick at that.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch him work it.
Yeah, he was a good man.
This farm that he had out in the country where you worked was on right by Miles Crossing there.
Yes, it actually was on the 101 that today they call alternate 101. It used to be the state highway.
Yeah, the citizens or the people got together and built him that house.
He had P.A. Larson right next to him in the big house, and that was where he paid his money.
He sent money back to his family. When the communists found out that the source of this money was from America, they threatened the family if he didn't continue to send that money continually. Well, he did, but apparently the communists milked them more and more for money from him. Well, in the end, he was a pauper.
So he was caught between a rock and a hard spot. He paid money for his wife, and he paid money for the Communist Party.
He lived alone all those years. It must have been a very hard life. Maybe for him it wasn't, but looking back at it, I think it was a hard life. because he never had any family.
He was by himself, but he wasn't lonely. He always had things to do.
I noticed that a lot of people would bring in their clocks for him to repair. But they said he also made cuckoo clocks from scraps of wood. It was just amazing, the beautiful clocks he made.
And he built clocks, musical clocks.
He carved out that postage up there, that poster with all the people.
Yeah.
He did that.
But Lee made beautiful musical clocks.
I think he had the tools and the experience to make his own gears.
Yeah, I think so. Because
And the shafts and everything, he had all that, he did it all by hand.
It was remarkable that he learned how to work on clocks and make cuckoo clocks and things like that. He would repair watches like you wouldn't believe, because people would take watches out to him to repair, and nobody else could repair them.
He did a lot of carving or something. In fact, that was made by Lee Sing, I think.
Which one?
That stand.
Oh. Well, then we'll take a picture of it before we go.
He was very talented, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
To be able to. Today I learned that he carved a dragon. That is supposed to be really a very beautiful piece. So they're going to try and get this dragon so that we can see it. I would say the man made a lot of friends because he would sell his produce. And in about it had to be around 37, 38, he also sold canned goods along with his vegetables in the summertime. And I don't know how he got the goods. It had to be that a wholesale man from Astoria delivered it to him.
A lot of people pick up vegetables and he wouldn't sell them, he used to just give it to them. He was a really generous person.
I don't remember very much, except that we used to go to see Lee Sing and bring him goodies, and he was very appreciative, you know.
When I was younger, and before I worked in the cannery, I used to hike out to his truck garden, truck farm there. And I remember one time Robert Saget and I hiked out there, and gee, that was a long ways to go.
In those days.
And he was really impressed that we walked that far. And so he wanted to give us something that would take our mind off the walk that we took, the hike that we took. So he gave Robert Saget a little rabbit to take home.
Really?
Yeah.